What you do in the first 60 minutes of your day sets the spiritual and practical trajectory for the next 23 hours. But let's be honest, most of us wake up already behind, scrambling for our phones, drowning in a flood of notifications and anxiety before our feet even hit the floor. We think frantic hustle is the only way to catch up. Yet when we look at the daily lives of deeply effective believers, people who actually move the needle in their work and faith without burning out, they share a totally different rhythm. If you don't take back those early moments, the chaos of the world will ruthlessly dictate your peace and your purpose. It's time to wake up and stop letting the culture's panic rule your morning. You roll over, the alarm blares, and what happens? You instinctively reach for that glowing rectangle. Stop doing this. We feed our minds with emails, news, and the endless emergencies of other people before we ever even say a word to God. Productive believers, the ones who actually sustain their impact over the long haul, do something radically different. They talk to the Creator before they consume the creation. Look at Jesus in Mark chapter 1, verse 35. It tells us that very early in the morning, while it was still dark, he got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place to pray. He didn't wait for the disciples to wake up and hand him the daily itinerary. And he certainly didn't let the noise of the crowd dictate his mindset. Why? Because he knew the demands of the day would try to crush him. By grounding his spirit first, he commanded the day's peace. If the Son of God needed to anchor himself in the Father's presence before facing the world, how much more do we? You cannot afford to skip this. So leave the phone on the nightstand. Give your very first thoughts to him. So you prayed. But prayer isn't just talking, it's listening. And how does God speak most clearly? Through his written word. So many of us drag ourselves to work completely malnourished. We fill up on black coffee and loud music, but our spirits are running on empty. If you want to actually be productive in a way that matters, you have to feed the engine. Listen to Psalm chapter 1, verse 2. It talks about the person who is truly blessed and fruitful. It says their delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. What happens next? They become like a tree planted by streams of water, yielding fruit in every single season. Think about that phrase, yielding fruit. That is the very definition of deep, meaningful productivity. It doesn't mean grinding yourself into dust until you crash. It means drawing from an eternal source that never ever runs dry. When you open the Bible before you open your inbox, you completely shift your perspective. You remind yourself of the truth before the world feeds you its lies. Do not starve your spirit. Before the daily rush begins, give yourself just 10 or 15 minutes in the Word. Read a single chapter. Let it anchor your mind. You spent time with God. Your mind is right. But how do you translate that spiritual peace into actual momentum? This is the third and final thing. Productive believers don't just react to whoever screams the loudest at 9 in the morning. They define their top priority, and they literally hand it over to God. Listen to Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. It tells us to commit to the Lord whatever we do, and he will establish our plans. Notice the order there. You have to actually know what your work is for the day before you can commit it. Most people write a list of 20 random chores and spend the whole day putting out fires. That is chaos. But a focused Christian pauses. They ask the Holy Spirit, what is the single most important thing I need to accomplish today to honor my family, my job, and my calling? They pick that one thing. Then they pray over it. When you do this, you stop running on an endless treadmill. You operate with absolute intention. You aren't a slave to the urgent anymore. You become driven by the important. Stop drifting through your mornings. Life is too short, and the mission is too great to just wing it. So there you have it. 3 simple but massive shifts. Talk to God before the world talks to you. Feed your soul with the Word, and commit your biggest priority to Him. If this message woke you up today, do me a favor. Subscribe right now so we can keep building these productive rhythms together. And leave a comment telling me, which of these 3 things are you going to commit to doing tomorrow morning? Let's hold each other accountable. Now get out there and build something that lasts.